Alright guys, so now we know how to get user input into our programs. So in this program I'm just going to show you another little simple application, just a little calculator that the user gets asked for two numbers, and then the numbers are added, and then the sum of those two numbers are shown to the screen. So basically it's like just an addition calculator. So this is what we do anyway. So first of all, we're going to want to take in any number they enter, whether it's a whole number like 7, or 9 or 89, and we also want to take in real numbers like decimal numbers. So just say they type in 6.98, something like that. So we want to take in all them numbers. So we're going to want to use a double variable. So say double. So we're just going to declare a variable now. So we're going to declare, and we're going to make 3 variables in this. So we're going to want to enter in 2 numbers, and then we're going to calculate the 2 numbers, and then we're going to give the sum of the 2 numbers. So we're going to need a variable that's going to hold the value of the first number. So I'm going to call this variable num1. And then remember, we can declare variables on the same line using the comma, as long as they're the same data type. So seeing as these are all going to be doubles, we can just declare them all on the same line once we have a comma in between them. So then for the second number, the variable I want to store the second number in, I want to call it num2. So num2, and then of course we're going to have the sum of the 2 numbers. So we're going to get these 2 variables off the user using the keyboard class, and then we're going to do a simple calculation, just an addition calculation, just adding the 2 of these together, and then that's going to be assigned to the sum variable. I'll show you now, and it's very simple, so you'll understand it when I show you. But anyway, so I'm going to need another variable just call it sum, and this is going to hold the value of the sum of these 2 numbers, and we're going to print this out to the screen. Okay, so now we have our variables declared. Now we want to just prompt the user to enter the first number. So just system.out.println, and then here just say enter first number. Okay, and then so now this will come up on the screen, enter the first number. So the user is going to enter in a number, so we got to take in that number, and it's the first number which I want to save in the variable num1. So as we see in the last program. Okay, so we want to just type num1. So we're going to store the value in this number, and we're going to use the assignment operator to assign this variable, and then we're just going to use the keyboard class. So call the keyboard class, remember capital K for this, and then keyboard.read, and then in this case we're working with a double data type variable, so it's keyboard.read double, capital D, remember that, and then there's the empty brackets and the semicolon. Okay, so now they'll enter in the first number, and that'll be stored in num1. So I'll go up here and it'll get stored there. Now we're going to just print out to the screen, enter second number. So I'm just going to copy and paste this to save time. So copy, paste that, and then just change this to enter second number. And then same again, we're just going to we use this all the time and take input from the keyboard, so I'm going to use this again, but this time we want to save it in the num2 variable, this variable here. So just change the num2. It's a double data type variable again, the same, they all are, so it's keyboard.read double. So now we've printed out the screen, enter your first number. We've then taken in the user input using the keyboard class through the keyboard, and we've assigned that value to the variable num1. And then we've printed out to the screen again, enter your second number. and then using the keyboard class again, we took input from the keyboard from the user, and we assigned that input to num2. So num2. So now we have two numbers, and we want to add these numbers together. So here's the simplest thing ever. This is what we do, is basically just add them. So just pay attention to this. I know this is very simple. So see sum, this variable here, sum, we want to store the value of these two numbers added together in this variable. So what we do is, here's the first thing we do. I'll show you here. Just bear with me for 1 second, right? So to add them together, right, you just say num1 plus num2. Okay, so that's adding them together. That's adding num1, whatever value they entered in here as num1, with whatever value they entered in here as num2. That's adding them two together. Now what you want to do with that value, well, here's what you want to do. I'll show you now. You want to assign it to the variable sum. So sum, and then the assignment operator as always to assign it. And then we want, what value do we want to assign it? Well, we want to assign it the value of num1 plus num2. It's as easy as that. So now we've got the two numbers, and then we have three numbers, which is just the sum of these two numbers, and that's stored in there. It's stored up here in this variable. And then all we gotta do is just print this out to the screen, print out the answer that the user was looking for. And so, okay, so just system.out.print. I'm just going to use a print statement so I can type in the sum is, and then I can put another print statement underneath with the actual value sum. So in quotation marks. So let's back to this. So just write in the sum is, okay, and a space for your answer there. Okay, so, and then you just say system.out.println, put your semicolon, and then say no quotes for this because we're just putting in a variable, so we can just say, just put sum right in there, no quotes, as you know. So then this will print out their answer. So I'll just compile and run this and show you what happens. Okay, so now I'll just run this. So let me get this program. This is our program. So enter the first number, so 45. Enter the second number, so 34.87. And then it adds them up. The sum is 79.87. So that's what that does there. I just want to show you one little neat trick, okay? You see the way we have system.out.print and then the text we want to print out, and then we're going to a new print statement and printing out the variable we want to print out, and we want to print that all out in the same line, right? So instead of doing this whole new thing here, we can actually just do this. I'll show you now. Watch this. So we can keep it. We can keep this as a print line statement, and just put the variable on the same line. But you see, we don't put it inside the quotes. You see, if you want to add something to the inside here of the, if you want to add a variable value to the inside of the quote here, what you do is come out, just use the plus sign, so you say the plus sign, and then just the variable name, and that's it. So the sum is, and then we just add sum in there. Basically what that means. So I'll compile and run this again and show you. It should be the exact same. So compile that. See it. Now run that. So enter the first number, 67 and 85, and on the same line again is your answer. That's because you just add that in there. So that's a cool way of doing it. That's the way I always do it. It's a much easier way, much quicker way of doing it. So that's your simple calculator there. That's a good program to know. Just you know, go over this again yourself, you know, start doing little changes, start playing around with it, and then you'll know next thing you know, you'll know it basically. So that's your tutorial there to stick it in. Thanks.